Aloha everybody and welcome to part 7 of my Let's Play of Sonic Colors. And now we're on to the third and my personal favorite zone in the whole entire game. This is Starlight Carnival. If you notice in the background, there is a planet there. So when you see us running through the level and going through all these airships and whatnot, there is a planet there that Eggman has chained to his incredible interstellar amusement park, but yeah. This level is quite the visual treat, especially for the Nintendo Wii.
We seem to be losing pressure on level 17. Please hold your breath against the harsh vacuum of space until you pass out from oxygen starvation. After that, you won't care. Enjoy the ride!
This level starts off with a bang, and I'm actually going to be silent for the first 15-20 seconds or so because this is amazing. Holy crap, what a stage, what a way to start off a level. Oh my god, this is amazing! You know, I still contend that Sonic Unleashed is the best looking Sonic game in existence, purely because of the graphics, purely because of the lighting system and whatnot, but I like the fact that Sonic Colors is returning to more Sonic-y kind of levels, you know? Where, like, if anyone remembers my playthrough of Sonic Advance 2, I really loved the Music Land kind of area, music plant, because it was so whimsical and it was so crazy and weird and bizarre, and it's just like, I like when Sonic takes places in a bizarre, fantasy, cartoony kind of location. Like, I liked Unleashed for what it was. I appreciated Unleashed for being the game where Sonic was traveling around the world, so you got to run around not Greece, you got to run around not Italy, you got to run around, you know, not America and stuff. Like, that was all fine and dandy on that gimmick, but clearly, you know, it'd be great to have Sonic in more crazy, fantastical locations, and Starlight Carnival is so friggin' amazing. It's just this amazing light show in outer space, and, man, the Wii really makes this level pop. The Wii really makes this level look amazing. Like, this game still looks better than, you know, Sonic 06 on the Xbox 360. I know, that's not a big, crazy, glowing statement, because that game was horrible, but, this shows what the Wii was capable of, you know? A lot of games didn't take advantage of the Wii's horsepower. A lot of games just wanted to make shovelware and everything just looked like it belonged on the PlayStation 2 or GameCube and stuff. And sure, this might have been possible on the GameCube, PlayStation 2, maybe, but it's just a visual treat, this level, and it's one of the clear examples on why this game is one of the greats of the system. As for the level itself, God, damn, that's gorgeous! I love this level so much, it's so cool. But this has a lot of auto-running on these rainbow bridges here. Well, they're more purplish, pinkish bridges, but you know what I mean. And while you're running, Motobugs! Oh my god! The Motobugs from the classic days, and they're playing completely differently from how they did in the classic days because they're chasing you down these pathways. And this is sort of like your auto-running, boosting kind of thing where, like, we've already seen that, like, at the beginning of the stage, the green guys would shoot their lasers and need to dodge out of the way in time. We saw that in Sonic Unleashed, but I actually like this concept as well, where, like, Motobugs are driving alongside you on the road, and you want to sidestep into them in order to damage them, and you want to make sure that they don't run into you. If you're boosting, I don't think they can keep up with you, but if you aren't boosting, they can eventually hit you from behind and damage you that way, so you gotta watch out. And every now and then, and it also happens at this stage as well, there's also going to be this giant Motobug that shows up that's going to be like black with red dots. And if you hit him, there's like going to be this special sound effect that's like ding, and then it's going to kill all the Motobugs in the area. So just a pro tip, if you ever see a giant Motobug with black body and red dots, go for him because you'll be getting a lot of points and you'll be killing all the Motobugs around you. And yeah, it's fantastic. This is the level where we would first get introduced to the Cube Wisp, because this is impassable otherwise. Sonic Colors doesn't usually force you to use Wisps too much. This is one example where, yes, you do have to use Wisp because there's no way up here otherwise. but they do a pretty good job of making it so that Wisps are mostly optional for the most part, you know? Like, I find if you just want to play the game and you just want to ignore them because you don't want to play as them and you just want to bounce off springs and homing attack and just be Sonic. Like, if you're so against the idea of, I don't want to turn into a pink spike ball, I don't want to turn into a green hover thing, I don't want to turn into these things, it's such a dumb gimmick, Good news is, for the most part, you don't have to be them. You can just run around as Sonic. Oh, this section's kind of neat because this is a Crusher segment, and if you get crushed, it's instant kill. Doesn't matter how many rings you have. I have to go and hit this spring so that I can get the red ring. But if I weren't getting the red ring, I would actually be trying to successfully get through this entire Crusher segment in one go. Because you can actually get through it in one boost. But the thing is, you have to slide at the very, very end of the pathway, because you won't make it otherwise. If you just boost from where you are, you're going to get crushed. But if you manage to slide at the very last, like the very last second, you'll manage to get under, and then you'll escape it. And it's really tight, and it's really narrow, and it just, ugh. Nice try, Eggman, but you can't crush me. I'm the fastest thing alive! Yeah! Fun stuff, fun stuff.
Just a reminder, please refrain from pushing buttons on the starship. Occasionally, one might jettison you into space. If this happens, your next of kin will be billed for the replacement hatch.
That's just cold, Eggman. You jettison some poor schmuck out the space hatch, and then he dies, and then you go and get to their family to pay for the bill? Good lord. Here's a level where we see that, like, definitely, there are 6 acts for each zone, you know, but they do reuse assets quite a bit, and they do reuse a lot of locations over and over again, because we've actually just been in here in Act 1, and in Act 2 we're navigating through it again, but this time the layout's a little bit differently, and the red rings are put in different positions, you know, but it's like, we've definitely been here. It just happened like 3 minutes ago, and it's like, yeah. I don't mind the fact that this game has 6 acts, you know? I know that's a little contradictory if you've seen my Knuckles Chaotix Let's Play, because in Knuckles Chaotix, that was a very dull Sega 32X game starring Knuckles and the Chaotix, where you had to go through like 5 acts of the same zone, and after a while that game got really, really boring, because I never felt like there was any difficulty, I never felt like any of the acts felt different from one another, they all felt exactly the same, and it was so, like... Some people ask me, Clement, would you recommend Knuckles Chaotix? That's a rare game, you know, that's never been a part of any compilation collection, it's never been part of Sonic Gems collection, or Sonic Mega collection, or any of these things. It's not even on Xbox Live or anything. Would you recommend Knuckles Chaotix? Should I give it a shot? I would say the special stages are interesting. I like the special stages a lot. I don't think the gameplay itself is astounding at all. I think the gameplay is actually really dull, really boring, and you're just going to be doing the same thing over and over again. And it gets dull when you're just going through the same acts over and over again. Like, they're different, but they don't feel different, you know what I mean? Oh, hurry, 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 hurry! Yeah! You gotta spin dash along the dynamite, because it's gonna blow up and knock you into outer space otherwise. That red ring's tricky, but I like it. I like it a lot. My point is, Knuckles Chaotix had no diversity, and the levels go on so long. Like, I finished this level in, what, 2 minutes? Sometimes Knuckles Chaotix stages felt like they would go on longer, even if they weren't actually. And Sonic Colors has a lot of, like, 1 minute, 30-second levels, if you know what you're doing as well.
Attention, ladies and gentlemen. Please make your way over to the main viewing area where the Lightspeed Electrical Parade is about to begin. Oh, and that concludes the Lightspeed Electrical Parade.
Oh, I love this stage. Act 3 is my favorite stage in Starlight Carnival. This is kind of a gimmicky stage. It doesn't play like any other Sonic stage, but I like the concept of, you have these springboard things that are constantly moving, right? And when you go further than it, it actually moves faster to keep up with you. And you're constantly using this to navigate through all the areas, collect all the rings, and get all the red rings and stuff. And there's not, like, any enemies here. There's, like, a few electric spinners or something, but, like, that's pretty much it. And there's another stage like this in Aquarium Park that I also enjoy, but I like the fact that, like, you just bounce on it, you'll go a certain amount of height. If you push X and stomp on it, you'll go super high, and then you'll go much higher. I just love the whole concept of this stage, especially when you're navigating and trying to get all the rings and dodge everything. I really like this stage a lot. I like that I can make running jumps off of the edge, double jump and everything, and it still catches up with me, so it won't, like, make me fall to my death. If you go back the way you came, I believe you're going to fall to your death, so you got to watch out. And when it's going up, it's not going to go forward past a certain point, so maybe you'll accidentally go falling in just that small little indentation where the platforms were, you know? But, like, timing it so that I stomp and then get to the red ring, and the platforms fall as well. So you gotta, like, really hurry up, otherwise you're not gonna have a place to stand on for a while. But, you know, I'm still collecting the rings to increase my score. I really, really like this stage. As a platformer fan, it makes me happy. It's not really what you expect from a Sonic game, but I don't care. I'm fine when Sonic does some different things every now and then. I'm fine when Sonic changes it up. I'm not one of those purists who say, oh no, they always have to be exactly like this. Well, no, they could be different. Just gotta be fun, you know? Booyah! And that level was 1 minute and 42 seconds, even with the S rank and the red rings and all that stuff. The levels don't go on too long, you know?
The Hypersleep ride is now open. Remember, the Hypersleep ride is not recommended for pregnant women or people who aren't willing to be asleep for 3 years.
No preggers allowed! Oh, this is another short level. I think I literally finished this in 1 minute. Just to go on the train of thought that, like, these levels don't last very long. Which makes it a lot more bearable from Knuckles Chaotix. Because, again, when you have stuff like Act 3, where it's like it's a trampoline stage and I'm bouncing the whole time, so it feels different from Act 1 and Act 2. And then you come up to this stage where even when I'm getting all the red rings and stuff, it's not a super long level. It doesn't feel repetitive. It doesn't feel like you're just doing the same thing over and over again. So I don't really mind the 6-act structure in Sonic Colors. Now, if the levels were like 5 minutes each, if it took like 40 minutes to get through a zone when you knew what you were doing, maybe I'd have a problem with it. But these levels go by really quickly, and they don't overstay their welcome, that I don't actually mind it. And back when I played Knuckles Chaotix for my channel, I had a lesser opinion of Sonic Colors than I do now, quite frankly. Waka 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 waka. Booyah! Yeah, you can call the Frenzy Wisp the Pac-Man Wisp, I guess, because it just moves forward, it chomps, and it kills everything in sight. 59 seconds, I got all the red rings. Super short level. I'm already on Act 5. Jesus.
Attention! The anti-gravity toilets on this level are out of order. We are sorry for this inconvenience and hope that you can hold it for another 20,000 light years.
Love that. Love this. I just love the camera angles and, oh my god, just the amount of effort that went into the background. Like, they didn't have to make those ships flying in the background. They didn't have to make all these things flying around you and all these neon light shows going on around you. But they did, man, and it's awesome. It's this fucking wow factor that when you come to this level, you're just like, this is amazing! Oh my god. Unfortunately, there are no egg ponds to boost into to hit these laser guys, so they're always going to be flying until they eventually hit a ship or something. But oh well. So yeah, something about Sonic Colors I will admit here, and I'm actually going to preface this. I don't think this is like my top 5 Sonic game ever kind of game. I still like Sonic Adventure 2 more than this. I still like Sonic Generations more than this. I still like Sonic 2 more than this. You know, there's a lot of Sonic games that I actually would come back to more often than Colors. Not to say Colors is a bad game, but at the time when I first played it back in 2010, I actually had a lesser opinion of Sonic Colors, and I didn't see what everyone else was gushing about. Because I was one of those staunch defenders of Sonic Unleashed where, like, I was defending the daytime stages so much, and I was still getting over the thrill and excitement of boosting through Apatos and whatnot. And I guess I'm more inclined to having, like, a speed rush, or I was more inclined to having, like, these thrill rides where you're boosting through the jungle, you're boosting through the rooftops of Spagonia and stuff. And Sonic Colors was a lot slower paced. Like, you couldn't use your boost all the time. If you tried using your boost all the time, you're just going to run out. And, you know, you don't get it from collecting rings and stuff. And there was a lot of platforming with the Wisps. Like, I had to be the Spike Wisp for this. I had to do this. And even though I did say they were optional, something about it just, like, kind of rubbed me the wrong way, where I was like, that's alright. And I remember when I played Knuckles Chaotix, I was still kind of feeling that way. I was still very much like, Sonic Colors is good, I'm glad people like it, but I don't see what made it the game of the year that people were talking about. I don't see why everyone was gushing about it like it was the greatest thing since sliced bread. There have been way more fun Sonic levels in previous games. You know, I don't think any of these levels compare to a City Escape. I don't think any of these levels compare to, you know, Metropolis, or Chemical Plant Zone from Sonic 2, or something like that, you know? I didn't see it. I didn't get it. And I was also kind of stubborn where I was like, they just took away the werehog and then you ate it all up. And it's like, this was exactly what Unleashed was, just a little different. And you guys never gave Unleashed a chance. But over the years, I did come back to Colors, and I did start to appreciate the platforming and the fact that, yeah, the fact that it doesn't have a werehog or gimmicky ways to traverse through the level, that is a good thing, especially now that I've played through the Dark Age of Sonic for you guys on YouTube, and I've definitely seen how it can be worse and how things could be better. I can see why people gravitated towards Sonic Colors, but at the same time, it's still not my top 5 favorite Sonic games ever, and I do think this game needs some difficulty, which we'll definitely be going into when we get to, like, the boss fights coming up, but I like Sonic Colors a lot, but man, this game is not hard at all. And, you know, when I think of stuff like the Bio Lizard from Sonic Adventure 2, when I think of stuff like a lot of the things people found frustrating about Sonic Unleashed, like Eggman Land and whatnot, you know, those to me feel more authentic. Those to me feel more exciting as a player when you actually accomplish those kinds of moments. Sonic Colors plays itself pretty much, you know. I remember I blew through this game in 3 hours when I first played it, and I just wanted more difficulty. But anyway, folks, we're going to be seeing the rest of Starlight Carnival in Part 8. See you then.